Ja, nå er det ganske tidlig på morgenen her, og jeg er på vei til Oslo for å intervjue Brian Selznick. Jeg er ganske så spent. I've read 2 of your books, and it seems like there's so many bits and pieces in them. So I guess you've done a lot of research.
Yeah. Yes, I love doing research. I've always loved doing research. And most of my books start off as just a ton of research. And I find, dozens of stories in newspapers and magazines and other books I've read, little things that just spark my interest, different ideas. I talk to people. I keep little notebooks with all of the ideas in them, scrapbooks. Sometimes I'll cut things out from the newspaper and glue it into a scrapbook. And then I just start thinking about what kind of story would tie some of these elements together. And then once I know what the story is going to be a little bit better, I then research individual elements. Like for Hugo, I had to do a lot of research about automatons and about old movies. And I went to Paris 3 times to research life in Paris. And
because when I read this book, I thought this writer must be a French person.
Oh, good. I hope so.
So you tricked me.
Good. Merci beaucoup. I did as much research as I could about life in France in the 30s, but of course, ultimately I'm just writing about an individual. Like I'm not writing about I am writing about a French person, and Hugo, of course, is French. But I'm really just writing about a kid and trying to imagine, what his life would be like alone in the train station in Paris and meeting this mean old man who turns out to be someone very famous. Sometimes it can be hard figuring out when to let go, and sometimes the facts can keep you or make you feel like you are being kept from the fictional story. And at a certain point, and I don't always know what it is, you do have to say, okay, I've done enough research and I can change what I want. And I once was listening to the writer Michael Chabon talk, and he wrote one of my favorite books, The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, which has a lot to do with the 1939 World's Fair. And he wrote a love scene in the ruins of the 1939 World's Fair. And I asked him, how did he do that research? How did he find out what the ruins were like? He said, I made it all up. And I thought that was the best answer. Because obviously he knew about the 1939 World's Fair. He did his research. But he had an idea to do something in the ruins, and he just made it up. And that's what we have to do, is make it up and make it feel believable.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you.